Nigerian army abducting and disappearing Igbo youths, fact or fiction? There is this report released on Friday, June 11, 2019, from Emeka Umabalasi, who happens to be the chairman or director of the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law. He said that in the past, since January 2021, 150 Igbos have been, in the past 160 days, 150 Igbos have been killed. He also said 350 have been killed in 160 days. 600 have been missing. 2,500 have been abducted or arrested by soldiers, police, and others. We have another report from prominent people from the Southeast region raising alarm that the military are abducting and arresting youths on the suspicion that they belong to IPOB and ECN. No less a personality than Archbishop Obinna of Owerri raised an alarm. Lawyers, civil society organizations, civil rights activists, religious leaders, pastors are saying that the military are simply abducting people only on the suspicion that they belong to IPOB or ESN, and that therefore they are the unknown gunmen. We have seen videos of people who said, my brother has been arrested and I've not seen him again. The army took him away, I have not seen him. And so we're asking, what exactly is happening? While we realize that unknown gunmen are killing policemen and military officers and burning police stations, does it mean that every young man in Igbo land is now a member of IPOB? Unfortunately, President Muhammad Buhari, 2 days ago, was asked a question about, let me get that question, about what he will do about security in the Southeast. Now, this is what the president said. The question was, how do you plan to restore peace in the Southeast? And Buhari said, I was encouraged by what I heard. Nobody told me. 2 statements from the South, one by the elderly people. They said this time around there will be no secession. And again, the youth made the same statement, such encouragement, that IPOB is just like a dot in a circle. Even if they want to exist, they will have no access to anywhere. And the way they are spread all over the country, having businesses and properties, I don't think IPOB knows what they're talking about. In any case, we say we'll talk to them in the language that they understand. We will organize the police and the military to pursue them. That's what we can do. In this answer to this question, President Buhari appears to lump all Igbo as members of IPOB. And therefore, it must stand to reason that if the military and police believe him, then every young man they see on the street of Igbo land is a member of IPOB. What do we think about this? What is the implication for the existence and free movement of Igbo youth in Igbo land? We want to hear from you and what you think. So let's start from Okeloma Dekife this time. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, there are, let me make this clear. There are almost 2 topics rolled into one here. And I want to distance myself on the aspect that concerns Buhari and talk like an Igbo man. You will also notice that I have removed the muffler that I had on my neck, which shows that I'm here on a different capacity. Now, doing what I do for my party, there were two occasions in the past when we took a position against the federal government. And those 2 remarkable positions are, 1, on a May 31 demonstration on one of these years, where there were casualties and the bodies were taken to Enugu. We were able to do that because we had eyewitnesses members of our structure who witnessed those events and reported with evidence. The second occasion was when El-Rufai demolished a building only upon the suspicion that there was going to be a sex party right there. Now, in all those two occasions, one had to rely on the evidence. One of the biggest problems of Igbo, which they seem not to realize, is that this fake news and this speculative reporting, which is pervading the whole world, not just Nigeria, not just Southeast, but it has built a colony in the Southeast. It seems that at every point in time, we now reduce our life to emotions, reactions, all that goes with it. And there seems to be absence of community-based organizations making sacrifice for society. And that also leads to wrong choices and wrong judgments. So to begin to set the premise for this discussion, let me just profess my love for what the Nigerian Bar Association in Imo State, for instance, did. They discussed with the governor and set up a desk with a lot of wide publicity so that families who have missing persons or persons who are otherwise unaccounted for can document them. And then when you discuss, you're discussing with real facts. We find out that those who call themselves NGOs, either out of funding or out of will or hollowness in character, end up leaning to one partisan interest or the other. So at every point in time, one must be critical about the kind of information that you preview. Otherwise, emotions will be running high. I am not saying that there won't be abuses. I expect there will be abuses. Once a matter leaves the police and enters the military, which does not respect all the civil rules, there are bound to be incursions and boundaries are bound to be crossed. But what then happens on the other side is my concern, that we have lost the ability to follow events bumper to bumper, back to back. So when we talk about it, we are talking about real facts. So, but without calling names, I know that a lot of NGOs that we have write things in blankets. And so this is where the safety catch we need for this discussion. I don't have all the answers, but these are my broad views.
Of course, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Master Elombah. I agree with you. We must be careful not to spread fake news. We must be careful not to be unduly alarmist. And of course, I haven't been to Southeast to investigate for myself. I only have to depend on reports that we are getting. So that is why we call this meeting actually. We have this report by Inter-Society. I wouldn't say that Inter-Society is the police, but their report is alarming. What Inter-Society did is in fact, they were given names. They have some names of, let me see. They have some names of people that have been reported missing. 1 second, please. Let's call on Tango. I'll get the report from Inter-Society. Tango, let's hear from you. What's your view?
Well, Elombah, what is happening is a systematical destruction of a race, Igbo race. Because all this did not start today. They are taking long. Just take Imo State now, the hospital as an example. Also, the governorship is part of the problem. This is an unknown government issue. Mazen Nalikalo have nothing to do with unknown government. It has nothing to do with them. It doesn't even have, even a blind man knows it doesn't control them. It have nothing. It may even have ESN. The problem we have is the politicians. That when they are okay, but when they have problem, it becomes the other problem. For Buhari, generalizing everybody hyped up. just like comparing Hamas with the PLO. It's a different, even inside Hamas, there's a political Hamas. But how are you supposed to know this? Even in army, there's a military police in army, which I was a member. Army has military police for judgment and trial. They don't kill at London only. In army, even in army, he must face court martial and face the law. So this killing, practicing something that's unconventional. Where is Geneva Convention? Where is human rights? What they are doing is very open, nothing like fake news. We saw the people who wound, you saw who they cut last, you saw them destruction every day and day in. What do we do? The human rights lawyer, I talked to him too. The man that brings this report, it's a lot of his own story. In any report, even no report can be 100%, even constitution. No constitution is 100% right. What report the man gives, once a report have 60 or 70%, it's a pass mark. It's really, our land is in trouble. Our land is in real trouble. And our rich men, most of them are no more sleeping in the east, in southeast. The Anambra rich men are no more staying in Anambra. Imo are not staying. Who is the people suffering it? Because is this Imo election is what is destroying Igbo land now? Let them look who sponsored this unknown government, who has money, who has this money, billions to finance it. And what's okay? See the tricks. The one they cash at this man place, Soludo, parade them, interview them, let's see. The case died down. They didn't bring them out to show. Most of them they bring is RNG. They bring a gentleman and started talking rubbish. People are talking are intelligent. I go operation without wound, without bullet wound on your body. Others get, others die, others go, God save you. People listen to that stupidness of story. Yeah? So you went to operation with some people on combatant, and you say you're among, you know the camp, you know everything. So most of this thing is see. It's time we rethink what they are doing to us. This is a very systematical destruction.
All right, let me give some statistics given by Inter-Society. So details of abducted and slain innocent citizens falsely labeled ECN hoodlums or gunmen. 1. Eze Avurum, 64 years old, and his cousin Dominic Ekechukwu. Eze Avurum and Dominic Ekechukwu are maternal cousins. They're from Umunne Kenta, Ugiri in Elombah, Imo State. They were adopted at Aba on 12th May 2021 by soldiers of 144 Battalion of 14th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Ohafia. He now goes to take the details of what happened to them. Next one, John Chinonso, 24 years old. He's from Nchoko, Dikenafai community in Idata South, Imo State, and living at Apiti Street by Hadel Junction, Ojo-Rata in Owerri North, Imo State. He's an orphan living with his elder brother. Citizen Chinonso owns and manages Daddy Fresh Barbing Saloon at Oboru Umuchoke by Hadel Bus Stop, Orata. So names and figures. Another one, Chukwudi Okoro, 29 years old, shuttle bus transporter owner, applying Owerri Ojeru with his apprentice, blah, blah, blah. Kasmia Ibebulem, 40 years old, father of one, expectant father of another, a permit holder staff of LNG. I think this is the one that was eventually released. Alozie Daberechi and Chigemezu Sebastian, Owerri-based traders. One of them was arrested with pictures. So another one, Ubo Kasmian Nemeka and Ojukwu Kono. They were residing at World Bank Housing Estate, New Owerri, and Igwal and Okoro Street off MCC Road, Owerri. Arrested on Trump allegations on 13th May. Smith Amadekwa, citizen Smith Amadekwa, 44 years old, father of kids, happily married to Honorable Mrs. Ebere Amadekwa, former leader of the Obo Local Government Legislative Council under former Governor Rochas Okorocha. He gave the address again. Engineer Ikechukwu Okoma, 50 years old, a graduate of engineering from Enugu State University. Emeka Mbono, 39 years old, and Ibechi Somamadi, father of 3 kids, married, living at MCC Road, Amawiro, Owerri. Well, on and on and on. So it's not about his saying, this is what I had. Names, address, profession, their picture. Sometimes we get a report that eventually police released this one when they found out that it's not a member of ESN. I have a video. I cannot upload this video now because once I made this request on this afternoon, I don't know whether, if some of you belong to our newsroom chat room, I said that I'll do this program tonight. If you have information or video, please send it to me. I started receiving videos, YouTube videos, pictures, stories, recordings. There's this lady I saw narrating what happened to her brother. He went, someone picked his phone, called him, said, "Where is my brother?" They said the army has taken him because he's an unknown gunman, ESN. Today, she has not seen her brother anymore. So many of them. Mazi, what do you think?
I think trying to absolve Mr. Kano from the chaos we see today in Igbo land is actually being disingenuous. You're not being totally honest with people. Not until we have this ESN, that all this case, not that we have ESN as a vigilante group, as we called it initially, that ESN has now morphed into Kano, now posing as a military general, declaring all manner of things in terms of killing police officers, bombing army. Let me finish, Tango. I didn't button when you're talking.
No, I just said to.
Yeah, declaring people wanted, declaring that he's going to kill anybody that didn't observe the stay-at-home order that he gave. And then you try to absolve him from the chaos. The youths, listen to him. Go and watch the videos of that day that he said that he's going to kill anybody that didn't obey the order, stay-at-home order. There's this guy that was riding on a motorbike. Some group of guys cornered him with knives. They would have killed him. Why? So trying to absolve Kano from the chaos is being disingenuous. The next point is the point that the earlier speaker made with regards to the fake news. We got to be a bit more objective with these figures that we're throwing about. Because, Nigeria is such a place that once something cut up, everyone will start doing it. Whether that thing is beneficial or not, people just do things for fun. Even if that thing is destroying lives, people will just do it just for fun. So we got to try and be more objective with regards to these figures of abductions and killings. However, all the killings that we see so far, the ones that I've seen, are the people that I don't know whether they are young men. They are young men, and it seems to be, people that have been associated with Kano or ESN in the past, like the Ikonsu that got killed, like the Dragon person that got killed. These are people that is associated with the ESN. So there's bound to be innocent people caught up in this kind of violence, where the army is paranoid. Who is going to attack them?
Let me ask this question. I want to know what you think. When you see news reports about, not from Emekuma Balasi this time, not from Elombah News, for instance, but when the army releases a statement and gives a picture of 12 dead young men killed, and they say they have just invaded an ESN hideout, Eastern Security Network, and arrested these people, killed them, and we recovered 12 AK-47, this bullet, this, that. What do you think? How do you look at it?
It's suspicious. It's very suspicious, because Nigerian army is not the best army in the world. Even the best armies in the world, commit atrocities. So it is suspicious. However, don't invite this kind of people in the first place to come into your land by pronouncing stupid things and decreeing killing, security personnel. Don't do that. You know that these people are not human beings. So even if you have to do something, shut your mouth. Form the vigilante. There's nothing wrong with ESM being a vigilante group. There's nothing absolutely wrong with that. However, that ESM has now morphed into something totally different, becomes a paramilitary sort of group with
All right, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, Mazi. Let's hear from Azu Ikejian. He has been raising up his hand for some time now. Azu, please, let's hear from you, and then we hear from Marcel.
Whether or not young men are being killed, I think it's a fact. However, it's the method of choosing who to kill that is a problem now. The government cannot approve extrajudicial killings. The government is supposed to, when you arrest these people, take them to court, use your court system, and find out if they actually belong to that organization. I'm not a supporter of somebody announcing other people to be killed. Make no mistakes, I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of that. Because whoever policeman you killing has a wife and children. Do you think their children will forgive you? So it's a cascade of problems from that little niche of kill the soldier, kill the police, kill everybody else. Do you know that if they say kill somebody now, that person is executed? They don't even think twice to do it. So that has resulted to this thing that we're talking about. It's not right. So let's call a spade a spade. The last time we had the discussion, I said let the local chiefs and local chairmen talk to the youths. I remember when it was cultism, I have a relative that was arrested, but I decided he would not sleep in that police station. It cost me 100,000 naira from here so that he does not sleep in that police station. Otherwise, he could have been dead. You know, Nigeria should stop all these things and obey the law that they put in place. So, Buhari has no right declaring a tribe, you know, to be wiped out. It's genocide. He has no right to do that. He's actually supposed to call them to table and talk to them. After all, the youth are our future. And that's how you should see it. How many more years is he going to live? Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Let's hear from
the same Buhari that said attack on Boko Haram.
Let's do it. Let's do it turn by turn. My brother Tango. Let's hear from Marcel, please. Marcel.
Dan, thanks so much for making this happen. And please, I want to tell everybody, let's get this clear. Let's kill this victim mentality that we're beginning to put on ourselves, okay? There are international rules and laws of engagement, and we need to hold Nigerian military and Nigerian security forces accountable, and that's my point. And when citizens come and begin to make case for them, it really gets me mad, because this is a state military that are guided by international rules. You do not execute people extrajudicially, even in state of war. When you capture a war, as in during war, there are people that they call prisoners of war. You capture people from the other side. The law says you have to treat them like prisoners of war. There are some, you don't execute them. You don't. So how much more your own citizens? So when people are beginning to say, tell our people not to kill police, which people are killing police? What if it is all these bandits from the north that come to the southeast and begin to make trouble? Who has a responsibility to find them out? Buhari knows that. Buhari, in his last statement, press conference, said that people from the Sahel, Mauritius, are all coming into the country with weapons. He said that. And I didn't hear him say that he's going to send military after them to stop them. So let us stop this victim mentality. Let us hold Buhari, who is the commander-in-chief, and the military forces, let us hold them to account. If anybody is killing anybody, let them make the investigation within the laws. Because if you that you make law, are the one breaking the law. What right do you have to ask me to obey laws? So we need to realize that the current government has just gone haywire. Okay, if they have deployed this military might they deployed in the southeast, chasing the killer headsmen that are roaming all over the whole bush, we wouldn't be in this situation. People will come to your land, rape your women, kill your mothers. You run to the police station, they won't do anything. This thing happened for more than a year before regions decide to wake up to want to set up their security outfit. The Southwest governors came together, they set up Amoteku. The Southeast governors refused to do anything. They were all dancing to the federal government and Buhari until ESN came on board. And when ESN came, they were just moving around the whole bush. I didn't see them in the cities. So let us get this clear. I don't want victim mentality. Buhari should be held accountable. And I want to tell people, get your record. It is time we begin to take people to international criminal court. We need to stop all this. And please, all you citizens that are beginning to make a case for them and begin to ask who are the unknown government, you should ask government. Ask the northern elders. They know, ask them. Those people from Sahel that are coming in through the north, why are they not stopping them? So let us stop this. And then, please, I'm begging everybody. Our security forces have to be held. You are making a case for them now. When they catch you, nobody will make a case for you. Mark my words.
All right, thank you. Before we call on Ebukonye, let me also make this point. There's this question about who are the unknown gunmen. I think, yes, I don't think majority of us here I'm not members of IPOB, I will guess. And many of us here do not support Nnamdi Kanu, I will believe. Many of us will not hate it when Nnamdi Kanu say, I have power of life and death, go and kill it, go and kill. I used to think that ESN are unknown gunmen until 7 days ago. But certain information coming to me now, I've said it here on this program, seems to suggest otherwise. And I think it is lazy, very lazy, for Nigerian security forces to sit down in the office and simply say, unknown gunmen is ESN, simply because Nnamdi Kanu stays in his house in London and issues all those threats. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu should be held responsible for a lot of things. Nnamdi Kanu should be held responsible for leading some of the members of his young boys to do those things they are doing. However, he has also said that we are not unknown gunmen. He has said it clearly. I used to think he's lying, but let me show you a video. I don't know, maybe people don't read. We have published these things in Elombah news. When we started hearing from people who claim to be unknown gunmen, people told us not to publish it. That we are putting ourselves, and the government will come and tell us also, go and show us who are these people talking to you. But as we have privilege, I believe that in law, although Nigeria doesn't respect the law anyway. But yesterday, we've been publishing this unknown gunmen stuff, that there are people who are claiming to be unknown gunmen, no, it's not ESN, no. And some journalists tell us, okay, show us their face. Show us who they are. And I went back to them, gentlemen, who are you? Now, this morning, I don't know whether you have seen this video. They even put it on YouTube. I don't know whether YouTube has pulled it down now. Now, the Biafran revolutionary forces have claimed that they are the unknown gunmen sponsoring these attacks. And I asked them, are you affiliated to IPOB? They said no. Are you under the command of Nnamdi Kanu? They said no. I've done some other investigations to show that there are several other splinter groups that are not IPOB, who are even more militant than IPOB, who are also, even though they are also pro-Biafra. But the problem is that the Nigerian government is so lazy, or maybe they know what they are doing by lumping every pro-Biafra group as IPOB. But that is not so. MASOB is not IPOB. Biafra Zionist Organization is not IPOB. Biafra National Liberation is not IPOB. There are so many of them. They are not IPOB. Even though the madman Nnamdi Kanu is talking all this rubbish he's talking, but there are other pro-Biafra groups. So let me show this video, which they sent today. I think they posted it either last night or this morning. A man claiming to be the leader of Biafran revolutionary forces have now appeared. Sorry, it's not this one. Am I? Yes. So this is the gentleman here. He had been in hiding before. He had never revealed his face until this morning. If you tell me if you are hearing him, please, or else let me see what.
No.
Okay, you can increase the size of the video. We're only seeing it in one edge.
Thank you for joining us.
We can't see it again. The video is not showing.
For those
It's not showing.
that do not know you.
Yeah, we are hearing the audio, but not the video.
Okay, sorry, let me come again.
My name is Pascal Okor. I am the
Okay, let me start again. There we are. Go back. Share screen. Here we are. Are you seeing it now?
Okay, yeah.
Are you seeing it now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, good.
Okay, let me play.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
For those that do not know you, can you tell us a little about yourself?
Is it audible? Are you hearing him?
You can play it now. I think we can hear him.
Okay.
My name is Pascal Okor. I am the Commandant General of Biafra Revolutionary Forces, BRF.
Thank you. And how did you get involved with the struggle for Biafra?
I got involved with the struggle for Biafra 1999 when I was in Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso. At that time was when Mr. Rafa Wazirike declared that he wanted to actualize Biafra. We welcomed the development, and from there onward, I began to work towards Biafra restoration until things went sour with the Rafa Wazirike and myself. That is how I began the struggle for Biafra. Now.
On that note, why don't you work with IPOP and Nandi Kanu?
Actually, many people don't understand this. In 2014, Nnamdi Kanu and his officials came to us and met with the leadership of Biafra Revolutionary Forces in Anambra State, Onitsha Places. We agreed to work in parallel line with each other. It was Nnamdi Kanu himself who did not honor the agreement. As time goes by, we begin to ask ourselves if this guy really wants Biafra or something else, because we later did not understand the aim and objective of IPOB. For instance, there was a moment that we heard that Nigerian government have made all their demand. Agreement have been signed and sealed. Everybody should go and vote. So we began to wonder, is that about Biafra, or is he asking for Nigerian election? And we don't understand. So this is very complicated. So we decided not to get involved. And it's not good to put all your eggs in one basket.
That brings me to our next question. Are you working with any other groups?
At this time, no. Because of the circumstances that we have gone through, especially when we were working with the Avengers. People don't understand that Avengers were working with BRF. Suddenly, the elders from the Niger Delta people went and collected bribe from the Nigerian government. And Avengers, being what they are, started masterminding the effort of BRF. Finally, BRF said enough is enough and decided to be on its own.
So to clear up some confusion, what is the goal of BRF and how long will it take?
The goal of BRF is to restore a democratic nation of Biafra. How long it's going to take, I cannot tell you how long. But I can assure you that in no distant time, we will restore Biafra.
Thank you for the dedication. How is BRF funded?
That I cannot discuss with you right now.
Moving on, the international struggle is very hard. Are you working with any other nations at this time? And
Okay, unless you want to hear more, you can tell me. But I think it gives me an idea. It gives an idea of the point I'm trying to make, that it is alarming when Buhari was asked a question about securing lives and property in the Southeast. And then he made that statement that seems to lump all Igbos into the IPOB umbrella, saying they have property all over Nigeria, they are landlocked, they are just a dot in a circle. And I think it is also that mentality that is behind the way the security forces sent in to maintain security in Igbo land. It's also that mentality that moves their implementation strategy, whereby every young Igbo man is suspected of being a member of IPOB, or even suspecting that every member of IPOB is an unknown gunman. I don't know whether I'm wrong. Ebuka, what do you think? Please.
Yes, my brother. Good evening, everybody. I'm having another challenge today with my power supply, and even my gen as well has packed up.
That's okay. We can hear you.
Yes. I would like to say a couple of just a few things. First of all, I think the current problem that we're having the president has to be blamed. I mean, squarely. I think at this point there is no doubt as to whether Buhari should be blamed or not. Buhari, has by every strand of imagination, has proven to be an ethnic bigot, and he is not apologetic about it. I mean, it's very, very obvious to everybody. But again, also, when you move beyond that, you will also notice that leadership has failed in the Southeast. A situation whereby you see a lot of young people, and in fact, because now when you look at it, you also see that it's not only leadership has failed, which is also why businesses has also failed in the Southeast. In most families, what has always sustained the family business. The businesses in the business in Onitsha that sustain the family. Most of these businesses have also folded up. They have also failed as a result of failure of leadership in the Southeast. And so you have a situation where generations of young people who are, hello.
Ebuka, go ahead. Sorry.
So we have a situation in the Southeast where a generation of young graduates, of mostly Igbo region, they have a lot of, the opportunity are so limited. Most of us, you can't get a job in any federal establishment because you just don't belong there. So and also in the Southeast here, where you belong, you can't find yourself, in any meaningful organization. And so it becomes a very big problem for most young people to be able to meet up. And so that fuels the dispassion that many of these young people have towards the government. And it's not just not just the federal government now, and also the Southeast government. And it becomes more difficult and in fact impossible for the government to exert any level of influence over young people. And so even it has even trickled down to families these days in the Southeast. Young people, they no longer have any atom of respect or value for elderly people, because these people, they have no value, they have no, no reasonable level of a contribution to their lives. And so that is the origin of this whole problem that we're having. Now, coming to the main issue at hand, Nnamdi Kanu as a person cannot be excused from what is happening. A situation in the Southeast where many of these young people, out of frustration, out of the fact that they do not have any other option, they have nothing else to do. They see the government and every other establishment or any other thing relating to the government as their enemy. What does this imply? This means that these young people, as a result of this dispassion towards the government and towards the establishment, anything that attacks the government, any semblance of attack against the government, they see it as an attack to liberate the people. And so this problem is so complex in this same manner as I've tried to describe. And so if we try to say that Nnamdi Kanu should be excused or that IPOB should be excused, it's not true. Most of the people on social media who are promoting these unknown government activities are people that are members of IPOB or they are sympathetic to IPOB. And so if government simply does just lump them up or just link all of them together, I mean, it's just common sense. Even I have tried to, there's one guy I tried to talk to. The guy, the way he told me that if it's not because of me, if it's not that I'm the one talking to him like this, that guy is an IPOB person. I know that he's a member of IPOB. And you see the kind of things that these people talk, the way these people reason, the way they behave, and you wonder. And the one thing I've seen that is constant is that many of these people at that level, they have no stable job, they don't have any reasonable skill. They are just there. They are victims of the failure of leadership that we have in Nigeria and the Southeast. And so that is the foundation of the problem. And so now, if we are now looking at the solution and the issue of the army, I know I think it was last week or so that I was passing somewhere around the Southeast, and I saw an army checkpoint. I wasn't asked to come down from my car and raise my hands, but I saw the other people. Nobody was allowed to pass there without you have to come down and raise your hands to be able to pass there. And that to me looks like it's so wrong. It's so wrong. And so I know that under that kind of circumstances, then of course the issue of arresting people arbitrarily and possibly summarily killing them, it can happen because this is Nigeria. But this was the point that some of us were making. When some of these elements were extolling the activities of the unknown government. Because we know very well that by the time the Nigerian government unleashes its venom on the Southeast, then everybody will be at least at the risk of being arrested or being killed for nothing. And so the problem is that it has come to stay.
Yeah.
It has come to stay. And for people who think that the government should, that's when you attack the government, when you attack government security, there are rules of engagement, like someone said. But that does not only apply to the government. If you as a person, as a group or whatever, start attacking government security apparatus, you are declaring war. That is the simple interpretation. And so I think our people need a lot of orientation and growing up to do. And also there is a need for a lot of leadership and a lot of we need to begin to provide solutions to some of these problems, because this is boils down to hunger and frustration. And so I think for now that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have Mazi Okoye. What do you think?
Like this that just spoke, is a complex matter that we are discussing, and I don't think there's any easy answers to the problem, because the problem has festered for so long.
Yes, but Mazi Okoye, we listen to Ebuka now. Yes. Yeah. Shouldn't the government display the same nuanced maturity like Ebuka have just highlighted? You see, his comment is somehow nuanced. Everything is not black and white. Shouldn't government also have displayed such nuanced maturity in dealing with the situation?
The government should not go about killing people willy-nilly like that. it is wrong by any stretch of imagination. Any government that does that is a dictator, is a totalitarian. That's what you see in totalitarian regimes. So government shouldn't, the democratic government should not kill people like that, summarily, like that. So that, by the way, however, as a thinking person that you are, I keep coming back to this, as a thinking, reasonable person you are, if you study the situation where you are at, I always learn something myself. I always meet people where they are. And people have to learn this. You meet people where they are. Don't expect something from where you know that you shouldn't be expecting anything. Not that we don't go to hold people accountable. You held them accountable. However, try to meet people where they are. That way, you learn to plan. You learn to plan yourself. You learn to manage yourself. So inviting these people by your pronunciations, by your, maybe it's not, yes, I'm doing that. However, they paved the way for some of this. Because, Nnamdi Kanu being a leader that people listen to, he has not come out openly to denounce what this carnage in Igbo land. He has not done that. I've not heard him say that. If anyone that has heard him say that, let him come and say, let him come and speak. He has not denounced it.
Leadership comes with responsibility.
Yes, it comes with responsibility. He should come out and say, this is not my making. This should stop. All this killing should stop. However, he's actually promoting it, saying that enough people, that time he said that after 2 weeks, there will be war. That if enough people get killed, then Biafra will come. What kind of nonsense is that?
All right, thank you.
Or in 48 hours, there will be much killing, or all the youths should go into the bush and join the men. What kind of nonsense pronouncement is that? And when our youths are feeling suicidal, the only thing they needed is an excuse to lose their head.
All right, okay, thank you. Marcel, please, and then we take FCC. Marcel first. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, I've listened to the last two speakers, and I always want people to talk from the point of law and not by emotions. It's very, very important. And when I make those statements, I make it because I understand that someone who has all the paraphernalia of power, someone who has the power of coercion, both the military, police, navy, all the military might within the country should be held accountable. Okay. Nnamdi Kanu is in the UK. Why is Nigerian government not doing international arrest warrant to pick him up? Or is that out of their let them just stop all this trash. And I want to, again, I'm telling you, stop making excuses for failure. You are making excuses for failure of Buhari. Whether you are APC or PDP or not, I don't care. If I am the president of this country, I will not sit in Aso Rock and see people carry weapons and move all the way from the north down to south to dispel people. And let me tell you, how many of you can comfortably sit in your house and then somebody walks into your house, take your 2-year-old daughter, machete her to death, take your 6-year-old son, cut his head and machete him to death, machete, after raping your wife and your daughter, they machete your wife, then they machete you and you manage to escape. And then when you recovered, what would you do? And this scenario I told you happened all the way from the north to the middle belt, to the southeast and to the southwest. So let me ask you people that are blaming Nnamdi Kanu or trying to make a case for Buhari, what would you do? You go to the police station to report, nothing happens. The military that is supposed to protect you, the president doesn't give a damn. So what would you do? You will all submit your head to be sliced, right? You don't know international law. You have a right for self-defense. And we all know, and Buhari knows that. You have a right. Let me tell you, you do not have to submit your head to be killed. If somebody trespassed into your compound, you can shoot the person. You know where your compound is, you have a fence, and somebody came in, trespassed. You have a right to take him out. So I am telling you people, stop making excuses for Buhari. The Senate and the House of Reps should impeach him. Impeach him and let's solve our problem. Just take that guy out. Let them impeach him, and all this problem in Nigeria will settle down in the next 24 hours. I can bet my life on it. But you know what? Saraki that was holding him in the first tenure, they have taken him out. So they have got to pick everybody that they can control. So the House of Reps is not even raising motion. Nobody's talking. The Senate is not even telling Buhari that he has committed impeachable offenses. Nobody's talking. The citizens are helpless. And you are here calling Nnamdi Kanu that is in the UK, that Nigerian government can, through bilateral agreement with UK, use international police in Interpol to get him arrested. Are we thinking at all? Are we thinking? Don't we see that it is beyond what we are saying? It is beyond it. You all listening to President Buhari's interview. What did you get from that interview? Do you think he's honest and open? Do you think he wants to solve the Nigerian problem, or he came for vengeance? The same Buhari few years ago was telling that an attack on Boko Haram is an attack on the north. And El-Rufai has said that once you kill a Fulani, that you have taken a debt. When Inge Jerika was the chief of army staff and he was busy fighting the war in the north, you saw what the north did. They were ready to take his name to international criminal court that is killing their people. And let me tell you the truth. You know what I feel? I feel it is a revenge mission. Nnamdi Kanu or no Nnamdi Kanu, let me tell you what would happen. Taking Nnamdi Kanu out of the way, bandits will invade Southeast and still cause the same havoc. So taking Nnamdi Kanu out of the way. So let us solve our problems. If today ESN and Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB dies, let me tell you what will happen. Bandits and Fulani herdsmen will invade Southeast, will invade all your forests. Look at the Southwest. Are they not invading the Southwest? It's Nnamdi Kanu there. Look at what happened in Igaga, over 20 killed. Benue, over 30. Zamfara, 66. And you think you will be immune, and in your little mind and your little mind, you think Nnamdi Kanu is your problem. See, I am not IPOB and I don't support violence, but I just want people to be very, very factual. Very, very factual. Buhari should be impeached. Impeach Buhari today. I'm telling you the truth. Impeach Buhari today. You see all this problem? Osibanjo has what it takes to go around the whole country to make peace. So you guys should stop chasing shadows. Listen to
okay. Let's listen to Omasanya FCC joins now. FCC, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good evening, all.
Go ahead.
I think little by little, Igbos are coming around. 2-3 weeks ago, it would have been very difficult to participate in a forum like this and hear up to 2 or 3 people showing the path that Ebuka Mazo told. And that's encouraging. We can understand where Master, my friend, is coming from. I think a number of people who are supporting Nnamdi Kanu are supporting him because of their political differences with President Muhammadu Buhari, whom, of course, is the biggest disappointment in governance in the history of Nigeria. But we must not, because we do not like the individual in power, begin to talk, act like that individual owns Nigeria, and that if he is taken out, or that he is the beginning and end of all the problems we have in the country. In all fairness to Muhammadu Buhari, in the time of Obasanjo, there were hate killings. Obasanjo was president in 2001, where we had the just crisis that sacked a lot of communities in Plateau State. In the time of Musa Umaru Yar'Adua, there were hate killings in the Southeast. In the time of Goodluck Jonathan, whom I suspect Basel is sympathetic to, there were killings by headsmen, terrorist headsmen. And I want to also point out that it is wrong to profile every Fulani man as a terrorist, as a Fulani terrorist, as a Fulani a terrorist herdsman. These same Fulani herdsmen or terrorist Fulani herdsmen are killing people in Kebbi. They're killing people in Katsina. They're killing people in Zamfara. They're killing people in Kaduna. They're killing people in Adamawa. Are the people they are killing Igbos? If we must be truthful, we should remember that before the formation of ESN, we are serious security issues in the Southeast, if we must be truthful to ourselves. Nnamdi Kanu and his gang of criminals and terrorists brought what we are passing through, what we are facing in the Southeast, to the Southeasterners. Nnamdi Kanu set up ESN and started, I know, in Olu, which is very close to my community in Akokwa, they killed 7 suya sellers who are Hausa people over nothing. Why will an individual operate like that, and some people who are very intelligent are supporting him because of their political differences with those who are currently in power? Why must we lie to ourselves about things that are very obvious? Nnamdi Kanu is spreading fears around. He's trying to make us hate the Fulani man or the Fulanis. Every Fulani is not evil. Every Fulani is not enjoying the bad governance that Buhari represents in Nigeria. They are suffering as well as the Igbo man in Olo. They are suffering as well as the Yoruba man in Ekiti. So let us not make it look like, after all, Jonathan wasn't a perfect president. If he was, he wouldn't have been sent out of power. Obasanjo wasn't a perfect president. It is not the Fulani man who told the governor of Anambra State not to construct roads. It is not the Fulani man who stopped the local government chairman of Nnewi, who made him or her to steal monies that were voted for the development of Nnewi. It is not the Fulani man who stopped the Ebony governor from doing what he should do for his people. I think we should stop this about this idea of passing the buck.
I think, Mazi FCC Jones, we have listened to you. Let me show you this. A lot of hands, so I wouldn't waste time because there are so many hands. I think the problem we have in the Southeast is the approach taken by the government in curbing these security challenges. During that interview, Buhari was asked so many questions about insecurity in certain regions. Now look at what he said about, okay, let me show you, let me start from what he said about the Northeast. Look at what he said. He was asked a question. Shekau is reported dead. How do you secure the Northeast? He said, the problem of the Northeast is very difficult. The present governor is working very hard. He's taking a lot of risks. I asked him this Boko Haram, is it Nigerian or foreigners? He said they are Nigerians, most of them. So let me not go further. He identified the people causing the insecurity in the Northeast as members of Boko Haram. And he said that the problem is because of poverty, unemployment, youth basically looking for what to eat. The level of poverty is almost unimaginable. Buhari identified the culprits in Northeast as Boko Haram. Let's go to Northwest. Buhari was asked about insecurity in the Northwest. Now look at what he said. I highlighted it. For example, we stopped mining in Zamfara State, expelled the foreigners. We want to secure Zamfara, Sokoto, and so on. They now talked about the criminals have suffered a lot of casualties, but they've not admitted. So in the people causing insecurity in Northwest, Buhari called them criminals. He said, we have identified them and we are dealing with them. But look at the Southeast. When Buhari was asked this question, how do you restore peace in the Southeast? Look at what he said, very instructive. That IPOB is just like a dot in a circle. Even if they want to exist, they will have no exit to anywhere. And the way they are spread all over the country, having businesses and properties, I don't think IPOB knows what they're talking about. In any case, we say we'll talk to them in the language that they understand. We will organize the police and the military to pursue them. Do you see what I'm seeing here? In the Southeast, he seemed to lump IPOB with all the Igbos. He said they are spread all over the country and they have no access to the sea. But in the northeast, he identified Boko Haram. He didn't say all the Kanuris. No, he identified Boko Haram. In the northwest, he called them criminals looking for mining gold. So don't you think that sentiment drives how you will enforce the law when you now send in your military and the police to go and secure the southeast? What do you think? Just briefly, so that we go to others.
I will not make excuses for a Buhari whom I think is not cognitively sound and whose bigotry is not the subject for argument by anybody who has been following politics in Nigeria. But we
now get your point. Thank you. So in as much as we blame Buhari, but we also saying that Nnamdi Kanu should stop his
not just Nnamdi Kanu, but
yes,
the Southeast political leaders have also failed.
Okay.
Most of them are being careful about what to say. Some of them are trying to protect their political interests. Some of them understand
all right.
The IPOB are very popular. So if they condemn them, they come out to say these people are not with us, that we do not support secession.
Okay, I was an FCC John, sorry. It's Rita still. I wouldn't want the only female that can raise up her hand to speak to go away. Rita, are you still with us? I think I just noticed that I don't see her hand anymore, which is a pity. I really wanted to hear her speak. Rita Nebogo, is she still with us? No, she has left. Sorry about that. Okay, round up FCC. Let me call on some other person.
So it is not just about Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, like Master rightly pointed out, is in the United Kingdom, exploiting the fears and frustrations of the average Igbo man and Igbo youths. But what have our political leaders in the Southeast done over this period of time? Most of them are afraid to talk. Most of them are enjoying what is happening somehow because they are not in power. They feel it is an opportunity for their political opponents to be embarrassed, to be harassed, to be made less popular. Nobody is thinking about the future of the Southeast. So why haven't they come out to say, these IPOB are not our people? What they are saying is not what we think. Johannes and Igbo is being political. They're being very careful. They do not want to come all out. They do not want to be categorical in making statements to say.
I don't know whether you're anyway, FCC. Have you really been listening to the statement of the Southeast governors and Johannes? Remember, FCC. Nnamdi Kanu said it. Sorry, Nnamdi Kanu said it's the Southeast governors that prescribed them. Nnamdi Kanu also blamed Johannes and then she, according to him, every day. Lambasin and Nyangwood, who had also told Nigeria that we don't support IPOB. Yesterday, again, all the South leaders that met with military chiefs made it clear that they want to remain a part of Nigeria, that they don't support what IPOB is doing. So I think the Southeast politicians have made it clear, abundantly clear, including Kekweremadu, that they do not support IPOB.
That was too little, too late. That was just yesterday.
All right. Okay.
The past 1 month, they have been quiet.
Okay. Let's speak to Azui Kejiani now, and then Kashmir and Otumba will follow. Azui, are you still with us? Can you unmute yourself?
Quite frankly, I will tell you guys about the past, first of all. I was involved in Biafra military as a young boy. I was in class 3 at Okungu Memorial when the war started, and I went into the army, period. Now, let me tell you how the military thinks. If you are coming in front of them with a cutlass and they're afraid of their life, they will shoot you because you ain't going to get them first. That's what you are told to do. So it's no different from what this military is doing. The only thing I fought Buhari for is to tell them to shoot aside. Instead, he could have said, arrest them, let's investigate. That's the only thing I fought with him. Yes, even though there was injustice, but that could be discussed. After all, the Eastern governors were taking in security votes. What did they do with it? There was no local government chairman. What did they do with the money? So we can't all blame Buhari for what is going on. We have to take blames ourselves too, because we didn't do it right. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. Kashmir, please. Your turn as a former military officer.
Yes, thank you very much, Elombah. Thanks to the other people who are with us here. I'm quite happy for the two sides of the stories we are hearing.
Yeah.
But I would like our people not to be so much into blaming Nnamdi Kanu or blaming our people who are maybe kind of adhering to him. Because like Ogonwa Sonia said, when Obasanjo was in power, I think all these things, the IPOP was there, the MASOB was there, they were there when Goodluck was there. So you will now see maturity coming from the past set of states. Yes, we have the right to self-determination. Everywhere in the world, everybody has a right to say, I want to belong here, I want to belong there. You don't stop them by violence, you see? And people are talking about Nnamdi Kanu. You don't blame a man who is trying to defend himself. Yes, the approach may be wrong, but it is the duty of our people, understand? We really now reach out to these people and see how they can confront them. You know, look at some people who in the Southwest, for Christ's sake. It has been everywhere. The other day, he led a very big protest in Ekiti State. Covered the entire Ekiti, the entire capital was shut down, and nobody touched him. He's not a Nigerian. Why is our own different? Our people should not be too much trying to defend Buhari. The man is the worst Nigerian president has ever had. He's the sole person causing all this problem. Remove Buhari today from Nigeria, Nigeria will calm down. He is the sole Nigerian problem. I've said it in some newspapers, I've said it everywhere. Buhari is Nigerian problem. Only him. Because he's the only one that has that kind of height, mind, and command to do what he's doing. How can you allow Fulani to invade everywhere in Nigeria and you won't do anything? You allowed bandits, they're everywhere. You brought them and put them inside the army. The same Boko Haram that we are killing our people when I was there. People were arrested, and they go and listed as repented who are. So you have a president who is a very mischievous human being. And as long as he's mischievous, nobody should trust him. Listen, don't tell me that every Fulani is not a herdsman. When they attacked the Bonny State, the herdsmen pulled out. Why did they pull out if they're not in agreement with the killers? So almost when I say, I'm sorry about what you said. You are very wrong. Don't try to tell towards these Fulani people. They're all the same. There is no difference. If they are not the same, let the people who are against the headers, killers, let them talk. Have they talked? Why should we talk about IPOB when they have not talked about their own? When Boko Haram was starting, Buhari was there saying that they are misguided elements, that they are their brothers. Yes, IPOB are our brothers too. So if there's anything, we talk to them, they are our brothers. So why should we condemn our people? Why should we kill them? When they did not kill their own? Let us be very, very pragmatic. Listen, let me tell you something. That order, shoot and strike order that he gave, is a very, very unlawful order. I've told some of the soldiers I've met, look, if you kill anybody and this regime passes and they pin you down with any killing, you are going in for it. Buhari will not be there to save you. Any killing, you don't kill anybody aside. There must be trial. You arrest. There's a little engagement. There is no war here in the Southeast that you make you keep somebody, you just shoot that. You don't do that. I've told them, we belong to some platforms, and I advise them, don't take such order. It's an illegal order. I was in military police, and we know the rules. That their commander gave you order, you do a lie. Once that order is unlawful, and you obey that order, you are going in for that order. Your commander may run away, but you are going to remain in the army. So don't just do things because someone says you should do it. Someone that is almost instant anti-you, that may not be there next 3 years, next 5 years, when he's gone. And they will look for you. And I will help to get you. You don't kill people anyhow. You don't just go in and kill people. There are rules of engagement. And please, our people should stop blaming Nnamdi. Yes, he's not so much right or so much sense. But let our elders reach out for him. Yes, he must have been annoyed when he said they want to assassinate him. Yes, why would you feel bad? I was with you in a meeting, and then I want to go, and then you plot to kill me. Why will I not feel so bitter? So there is that need to reach out. It's not unreachable. Let them reach out to him and call him. That should be a dialogue. Our elders should dialogue with him.
We need them. The people in Olu, ESN, they were pursuing these herdsmen. They did not touch anybody. They were pursuing the herdsmen in the forest. And that was what was happening. Why did that useless people of the man invade the army? He's very stupid. He was one that caused problem in Imo State. Every state in Nigeria has problem. Did they invade the army? Why should he go and invade the army? Is it not the government in Nigeria? And what was he doing with this security vote? What does he have on the ground in Imo State to secure Imo State? Some useless people as governors and they're not doing anything.
Thank you.
It's very sad. People collect billions of dollars every month, you won't do anything. And you go and buy the army. Is that army saving him now? Are they saving the state now? He has worsened the situation in the state. So let us understand this thing. The IPOB elements are not. The ASN came out there to pursue these herdsmen who are in the forest raping our women, destroying people and destroying crops. And then you go and invite them to go and pursue them. Pursue them for what they were doing the right thing they're supposed to be doing. When the governors did not do anything, look at the Bible, they said they are going to form. How many months now? What is on the ground? They said they are going to ban anti-grazing. How many months now? Not all right on the ground. You have some riffraff as governors. It's so bad.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Otumba, can you please unmute yourself?
Thank you and good evening, everyone. I came a little bit late. For me, it's just like a repetition of what I've always said and contributed to a forum like this. Everybody is blaming Buhari. Yes, 1% I will agree that we should blame Buhari, but the truth of the matter is, here we have Buhari with a long list of advisors. And it's said in many books that the only time you get an evildoer to succeed is when people like you and I are standing by. Let him get on with what. I look back and I ask myself, how many books, how many information does Buhari do have that all these policies? Because most of what we have been talking about are policies. They are policies. It's just not like you wake up in the morning and say, go and do this in Igbo. Then again, the larger question is this: 36 other governors. Oh, and did they have to all, is Buhari that waking up in the morning and telling them how to govern Imo, Enugu, Zamfara, Ondo, Oyo, and so on and so forth? Let us be real. And it hurts me when we have collection of people like you and I sitting down here in this kind of forum, not facing reality. The problem we have is the structure that allowed garage-trained politicians to get to power. Why are we not dealing to how best? Look at it. I mean, I live in UK. If you ask how many of us that are present here today, how have we all contributed to issue of changing the constitution, amendments, and all that kind of thing? Probably we have not done anything. It's so convenient for us to sit down here, start criticizing. And for me, the Nigerian problem is not Buhari. The Nigerian problem is how we allowed ourselves to be used. And a combination of all the vice president, the governors, everybody is a miniature of how an average Nigerian operates. Because all what we want is the connection. We don't want a state or we want a country of only kings. We don't want a country of laws. We refuse to adhere to that kind of rule of law. And as long as that is eluding us, we are not going to go anywhere. We will continue talking and talking and talking. PhD, professors, and all of us will sit down here, still saying the same thing. Because you cannot find what is going on in Malaysia. It's not possible in Indonesia. You know, talk of in Holland or some other little places in Luxembourg where gay is even their head of state. There are a lot of things that is not going to happen in Austria, where a 30-something-year-old boy is ruling. What's wrong with us? Let us be real. We're not going to solve the problem of Yoruba. Most of the problem of Yoruba is within Yoruba. How many Yoruba killing people in Imo State? No, it's the Igbo killing Igbo. It's Hausa killing. In fact, Hausa is even better. In a way, I'm a Yoruba to the core. But then you find out that Hausa will gladly accept moderation, compromise, or whatever. But the other two major nationals of Nigeria, Igbo and Yoruba, we never. We just want to creep up. We just want to make sure that whoever is elected doesn't do well.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the federal government. Yes, I see like when Professor Gambari was brought forward to come and be
Chief of Staff.
Buhari, he was my boss at Institute of International Affairs. And I criticized him and said, I know you very well. What are you bringing to the... And this is a man that will stand up and say, I have fixed about 22 countries of the world. Get them out of poverty, get them out of all this. And so he cannot get Nigerians out of problem we have. So
Nigeria is a more difficult place.
Yeah, excuse me.
Nigeria has a peculiar... Okay,
yeah,
thank you very much.
We need to be real. We need to be real. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So in your summation, the problem is the structure.
Yeah. Otherwise, we don't have any garage-trained politicians. It's not going to be possible for them.
All right. Tango, please.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, remember, I was listening because the way I talk, people will say, Tango, what I'm saying is real, and I never change my stand. Buhari in question was my POC. Buhari coming to power, 4th division, before ever he became head of state. And so this man parading himself of Buhari and surprise. Buhari is not in power. Presidency say, this is the abuse of the money, and in any crime, people benefit, people lose. If there is a war, there must be a war criminal. That's warmonger. Even during our Biafran war, some Biafrans are comfortable, drinking white horse, eating fine, foreign prostitution coming into Biafra. That they are patronizing them. And while people are dying, during the Biafran war, we have 3 groups. Win the war continue, war survival. And if these people managing the war want to come to you, they will dress the way you will to be like you. When they want, anywhere they go, they dress according to the place they are going. Nigeria, politicians are all one. They unite. The masses and the voters, the poor masses are the victims. They know themselves. So the only thing that awareness in Nigeria, that people cannot reason, people cannot, we are sentiment, party issue, brother issue, this and that. But the reap our problem we have, like in Nandi Kalu now, and seeing Nandi Kalu, no matter how they blame Nandi Kalu, little resistance he put shows something.
Okay.
Excuse a minute.
I want to ask you a question. I'm not telling you to stop. We have just been reminded that what is the solution? Now we have now profiled the problem.
I'll give you solution now.
Yeah. What is the problem? Sorry. Yeah. What is the solution? Yes.
Solution that will come is the day federal might is a very problem in our system. They intervene. They give you a leader that is not for the people's choice. It's number one problem. Now we're talking of election. If we gather, now, I know you. If Tango come out, people say, oh, Tango, we know you. We don't need you. It's my people that reject me. But if my people come out and say, okay, Elombah, go for us. If you go there, you will respect your people. This our politicians knows that our vote doesn't count. That's the major problem. And for this thing to stop, what Buhari should do, or the military should do, is to know really who is really this unknown gunmen. Because this unknown gunmen is a strategy, diversion of issue to create anarchy, to create system. Like now, no governor again in Southeast where you will ask about security vote. Now, all the security vote is justified that they use it to pursue unknown gunmen. So what do we do? People are dying. People are suffering every day. Every day. If the other brother that says something, he's to the point. Blaming Nandi Kalu is a criminal, it's a criminal. Buhari this. We know the problem we have, but we are dodging it. Finish. The solution is that the day we tell ourselves the truth, vote a leader that we choose. If you go there, the leader will know that coming back, we ask him, how do we manage our votes? Finish.
All right. So your solution is for us to devise a system whereby our votes will start to count, so that credible leaders will be elected. Marcel, back to you, please. What is the solution? We have now profiled this problem. What is the solution?
Dan, the problem with us, Nigeria, is that we don't go back to look at history. It's just history that is repeating itself. You see exactly what Papa Balewa did to Southwest. is exactly what Buhari is doing to the Southeast. During that time, the main aim is finding a region that can control. And then you have the fight between Obafemi Awolowo and Akito, and then Tafawa Balewa has to use the federal might to support, the president has to support the uprising and the destabilization and all those stuff. So it is just a repeat of the same thing. And what you are seeing in 2021 is still the same fight that has been on from 1960. It's a fight of domination. No, the North wants to dominate. The Southwest is saying you can't dominate. The South is saying, so every other thing that came down, it is as a result of that. And until we come together to say, agree on a security architecture and a political architecture that will ensure that no zone dominates any zone. The UK, for instance, has England, Scotland, Wales, and North Ireland. Now, they are all United Kingdom, right? But they operate purely independent government. You cannot see Boris Johnson saying he's deploying somebody to go and take out somebody in Scotland or take out somebody in Wales. It can't happen. But that is the problem we're having in Nigeria. And then let me tell you, a quest for domination can come in different strategies. It can have different strategies. The first strategy might be a strategy of let us rule them by proxy. If it doesn't work, let me tell you the next strategy. Remember that for you to be a president of this country, you need to win at least 25% of vote cast across the states, right? So if I'm able to create an enclave across all the states and inject my people there and empower them and ensure they are giving me the 25% vote that I need, I will perpetually dominate this country. It's a very simple strategy. And that's exactly all this nonsense Ruga. I mean, people should open up their eyes. And that's why I'm telling people that this thing will still go on until the main issue. So that's why when people say Nnamdi Kanu or some paid political people, look, FCC, I am not a politician. I've told you I am a public servant, okay? And if you want to know today, I am a public servant. I work for Nigeria. I'm a public servant in Nigeria. And let me tell you one thing about public servant. It's the most respected institution. So my job as a public servant is to ensure that the public service maintains its integrity and respect. And I will always speak the truth. So I'm telling you, I am not a politician. So until that problem is solved, we will keep on going around in circles. So that, let me tell you, 20, 30 years to come, we'll still come back to this discussion of domination. So the first strategy is to rule by proxy, which is what the British did when they colonized Nigeria. They were able to rule by proxy through in the north, leaving all their emir system around. That was the same strategy they wanted to use in 1967.
All right.
And when they found out that they cannot rule by proxy because people will revolt, they now want to inject people in different states so that they can comfortably get 25% of the vote.
So quickly, Rita Neborg is back. We'll call her now. So Marcel, in 30 seconds, what is your solution?
Political and security restructuring. But let me tell you the truth, it can't happen. So at the end of the day, there is room for anarchy. As in, the country is set up for anarchy. So it's either you submit yourself to domination or you fight for freedom.
Okay.
Those are the two things.
Thank you very much.
Or Dan, the last thing is the North, Buhari and his group can reason like 21st century leaders and realize that in this current world, diversity and inclusion is what the whole world is looking about. So allow a decentralized Nigeria. It is possible because the Senate can come today. Doctrine of necessity was enacted in this country when there's a problem. Okay, so we can enact a doctrine of necessity again to solve our structural problem, but they will not do it because they are benefiting from the current structure. And some people are supporting them. Some people that doesn't understand anything.
All right. Mrs. I don't know. Rita, please. Aneborg. Do I call you Mrs. Aneborg? We called you before and I realized that you just left. And yes. Can you now give us your own opinion and what you think and what solutions you prefer?
Elombah, I want to thank you. I want to thank every other person here. My name is Nwada Eberechukwu Aneborg.
No.
I am Ada Biafra, Darun. You see, I have said I will stop talking, on issues bothering our people, Biafra struggle, Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria, and the rest. But because of who I am, because I am involved, I am just involved, I cannot keep quiet. You see, sometimes when our people talk, especially those of them who are not domiciled here, especially some of them who do not know how this Biafra agitation, how Nnamdi Kanu, how every one of us came into this restoration agenda. I wonder. And sometimes when our people talk so sentimental, so emotionally, it will not get us nowhere. See, we should call a spade a spade. See, I am a Biafran woman. I am an Igbo woman. I have my children, sons, daughters. Number one is that we are bringing this war into our doorstep and we are not prepared. Let us tell ourselves the truth. We can demonize Buhari, we can call him names, we can. The question is, this war that we are clamoring for, this war that Nnamdi Kanu is beckoning for, this war that he's bringing, are we prepared for the war? That is it. That is number one. See, if Nnamdi Kanu does not know anything about the unknown gunmen, why must he always come out to claim whatever they do? Why must he come out to say things that will make people to feel or believe that he's behind it? I don't know. How can somebody, a reasonable person, how can you bring war to your father's compound? It is not done anywhere. It is not done anywhere. And you are saying that you on air, you are telling people this is what you do, kill them, throw this, throw. It is not done. Especially those of you who know Obodo Igbo, that is number one. Number two is this. We are saying our politicians are not representing us well. The governors are imbecilic, the senators, how are we prepared to take over power? Power is not given, it is taken. And you cannot just take it on the pages of newspaper. You cannot just take it talking from the internet radio. Come together. Let us bring ourselves together. Nnamdi, yes, to be very, very candid, has been able to bring us together. But where do we go from this bringing us together? What are we going to use our coming together to benefit in the Nigeria of today? Though we are Biafrans, but we are still in Nigeria. Let us have it at the back of our mind. Nigeria is a sovereign state. Biafra is not. Biafra existed for 3 years and ceased existing. And we surrendered. We surrendered. Whether we like it or not. And the war that we want to fight now, the war of knife, of gun. No, it's supposed to be war of the intellect. Let us call a spade a spade. These are our youths are dying for nothing. Any youths that die now in Nigeria because of what the Northerners are doing to us, or Buhari is doing, or non-gunmen, is not dying for Biafra at all. The person is dying for one useless and nonsense thing that I cannot fathom. Our ladies, our children, our girl children can no longer get married. Are we remembering that? Are we thinking about that? Why? Because we don't have men again to marry them, for crying out loud. If tomorrow there is a genuine war that is coming, who are the youths that will fight this war? And those of you abroad, will you return? All of you will return and all of us will be exterminated. Let us be guided. Nnamdi is not doing us good. Nnamdi has been able, he has succeeded at derailing the Biafra agitation restoration agenda. This is not how we started. This is not how we started. And we cannot, anybody that is trying to clap for Nnamdi is doing us no good. Let us tell ourselves the truth. How can you come out? You are not prepared for war. You don't have all it takes just because you have been able to seize kill some policemen and take over their guns and their this, and you are coming out to fight. When the Nigerian troop come, the only thing we can do is just to rant. To rant. They are killing us, so they are killing us, so international community come to our aid, so they can't come to your aid because they have their own problems. I don't want to go this deep. It pains me when I see our people come out to say what Nnamdi is doing, what this is good where. Okwadu cheke je meihe. Look at how Nnamdi has given Buhari the temerity, the audacity to continue to mess myself and my brothers and sisters up. We are now a dot in a circle. Look at how Buhari, just because somebody is bringing this war to our doorstep and we are clapping for him. Are we prepared? Are we ready? What do we have? Our political class are not with us. Have we gone to them? We demonize them, we castigate them, nothing that they do that we like. How many of them have we called together to talk to? If we have talked and they are not hearing us, let us come together, chase them out and take over power. Let somebody like Ebere Chukwu and Bogo go to Senate, then I can discuss Biafra. You can only get power in the parliament and not in the streets.
Mother Biafra, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, do you have we thank you very much for the salient points you have made. And we are truly, truly grateful for that. And we would have been missing something if you hadn't come back to make this contribution. So thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Duty calls. I'm not even around. I'm not even around. I am, you see, I'm not even sleeping today. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing that is carrying us up and down. And our people outside are not even trying to know that our lives are in danger.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Elombah.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Ikende, please, let's call someone who have not spoken before, and then we go back to our previous contributors to round it up in the next. We'll really finish in the next few minutes. Ikende, please, are you able to unmute yourself?
Okay, let me do that.
Yes, go ahead.
I think okay, thank you very much. Now, many of us who have spoken have stated the problems, and what we are looking for are the solutions. I have to extend what Mwada Ebere Chukwu and Eborg, pointed out. The first solution, I think, and I believe in it, is this: we have to tell Nnamdi Kanu to stop putting his label on other people's products. That is the biggest problem he has. What doesn't concern him, what he doesn't know about, because he wants to shoulder his ego, he places his own label. That is one. He should stop it. Number two, he should recall these misguided boys, elements he headed to the streets, arming them with the poor materials to confront hardened, trained military men and the police. He should call them back. Tell them that we don't have the wherewithal to confront the Nigerian military. These boys are dying in hundreds every day. Let us not forget, Igbo land was like a verdant lawn before the advent of ESN. we know that Buhari has a dirty mindset against the Igbo race. They have been looking for an opportunity to attack our economic well-being, our commercial well-being, wherever they are located. Why then did you why did you fetch maggot-infested firewood? What do you expect? The lizard must surely come. What Kanu did using his own ESN was to fetch maggot-infested firewood down to Igbo land, asking Buhari to come and attack us. Remember, the initial impression was that, oh, these boys will be there chasing the Fulani herdsmen in the bushes, wherever. Are they chasing the Fulani herdsmen here and there? In areas where there was peace, they entered, there is trouble. Let us call him to order and let him call his boys to order. Severally in the past, we have gathered from different locations, from diaspora, from the home base, different group agitators. We've gathered together to say, let us form a synthesis. Let us agree, use one mind to appraise the predicaments we find ourselves in the Nigerian state. Once we're able to identify these major problems, we propose solutions. And what could be the solutions? If we would agree amongst ourselves, we can conveniently, fearlessly move to confront these governors, not violently, but engaging them. And we tell them, look at what we want, look at what you're not doing well. You are representing us. We can form pressure groups, send out people to go and meet all these governors one after the other and tell them point blank, you are not representing us. But in a situation where Kanu will be there, claiming the supremacy of the Almighty God, determined those who will die, issuing order, trying to say that he is the only person we have to hear his words in Igbo land. It's unacceptable, it's unheard of, it's imperceptible, it's intolerable. He has, Igbo is not a place where one person will be a dictator. It doesn't happen. Let him come back and know that he just started things in medias res. In the midst of things, he has to come and discuss with people that equally matter in Igbo land. Let me tell you, in the present dispensation, Kanu cannot go to Yen to talk to us. Remember, some weeks ago when he was making a broadcast, he said, oh, I'm long overdue for egg. In other words, he is doing something to be summoned to the head. It doesn't go that way. In the last few days, United Nations, has been trying to summon a meeting for us to come and discuss on issue burden on Africa and the Middle East. The invitation came to one of the principal Biafra agitators, to Wazike. Of course, the letter came through me. Why didn't it go through Kanu? Can we get to Biafra without the consent or support of the international community? Now, if the international community is not taking him serious, how do we go there? So let us call him to that. For those of us in diaspora who are feeling the embers of discord, let me be honest with you, because most of us are in abroad, we don't know the heat people are to facing, and we keep on contributing, gingering him, people are dying. When our children are here with us in the European gardens and in American gardens, let us know that there are people at home who are suffering. Now, to further it, after we have met with our governors, we tell them, look at what we want. Once we are united, we pull back. We pull back, and not to make Igbo a battleground. Now we cannot say, Muhammad Buhari, you have a mindset against us. We don't have an enemy within. Everybody is in their own homes. Who is he going to fight? Now, if there is tranquility in Igbo land, no ESN on the street parading, disturbing people, self-immolation, that's what they're carrying out. If there are no people for him to come and kill, when he enters, we cannot accuse him of something. But the situation he has put us now is necessitating this Buhari's brigandage. Let me put it in parentheses. Necessitating Buhari talking they don't like us. Why then must we give them the impression? So once we come together, we are going to confront a common enemy. Let me give you an example before I stop. In the last few months, this our sister here, Birechko and Bog, was there. Uche Mefo was there. Ikenwa Nodenyu was there. Uche Nasiebu Onyemio was there. Of course, Clifford Iranya was there. Chief Wazirike was there. Asari Dokopo was there. Very many others. Fred Onyale, name them, I was there. Very many people, all of us gathered to speak with one mind for the first time after many years in this our struggle. All of us agree that we are going to work with one mind, talk with our politicians, ask them questions. Why are you, senators, there not discussing the Biafra question at the National Assembly? Why are you, those of you at the National House, not talking about Biafra like the ambassadors will do? Now we cannot compare them that you have to introduce the Biafra question. If you fail to do that, we're going to recall you. We put pressure on them. But when we don't do this, we just use the Biafra agitation as a franchise, collecting money from people, pushing the innocent children to their early graves. If that real war breaks out, who is going to fight for us? There is fear everywhere in the land. People cannot move up and down again. Only yesterday, a man from Ugota who came on a condolence visit to my own community, Umaka, in the Injaba local government area. On his way back to Ugota, he stopped at Owerri to board the next bus. He left in the evening. The military picked this gentleman, killed him that night. Who hasn't seen it? Killed him. Innocent man who was on a condolence visit. Who gave them that impression? Everybody becomes IPOB, everybody becomes ESN. We quite understand that even there are some people in IPOB, ESN who are gentle, who are really out to fight the Fulani people. But because their minds have been polluted, they see nothing again. When the enemy is not there, they descend on their own people. Otherwise, tell me, look at how they behave. We don't have their arms. So what I'm trying to say in summary is this. The moment all of us come together, Kano must take advice. He doesn't know it all. He is limited in outlook in everything. He has to come back, agree with others. Once we agree, we contact our governors. Even the governors can sponsor us. Now, once we do that, we now have a common enemy, which is Buhari and the Fulani people. And once we have them, let us know where Buhari will start. To be honest with you, if we do this, we can get the support of our next door neighbors. Today, we are talking with the Yoruba people, which is unheard of. Before, nobody knew that the Igbo man would raise his flag, the Yoruba man would raise his flag. The same players embracing themselves against the Fulani. How did we do it? We were the masterminds when we invited the Yoruba people last year at Owerri. They came. Middlebelt came. I was a mastermind. So if we're able to agree like this, we cannot tell the Fulani people there is no place for you either in Nigeria of our dream or the Biafra of our hope. Once we do this, what are we talking about? Right. The question is this: those of us in diaspora who are calling Kano, please call him to order. He doesn't know it all. That's the problem. Charity begins at home. Likewise, this peace must begin at home, and then we face the common enemy. Thank you. Let me hold it there.
We thank you very much, Mazi Egono. Let me point out something as well. We have blame all around. Mazi Egono has introduced a suggested path of solution. Let me also quickly say that I'm aware of a proposal put forward to see how we can get the federal government to dialogue with credible Igbo leaders, bringing Nnamdi Kanu to a table, that we are aware that once IPOB see that Nnamdi Kanu is sitting at the table discussing his agitation, that some of these problems will stop. At least if IPOB will stop their own activities, then the authorities will now be able to know for certain who the unknown government and other agitators are. But unfortunately, the federal government took the position that they will only use force to stop whatever is happening in the Southeast. And then Nnamdi Kanu continued with his position that his agitation continued because he saw no practical route through the Southeast leaders to achieve what he wanted to achieve. So we'll be rounding up this discussion, and we just invite those who are raising up their hand. Please, can you limit your contributions to one or 2 minutes so that we'll bring this conference to an end. Let's start from Okelo now, please. Maazima Dekife, we start from you. Concluding thoughts. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. When I set premise for this discussion, I threw a challenge, and that challenge was quickly responded to with a report. And I thought that going from that point, people would be discussing or zeroing in on the report on what to do with it, going from there. Unfortunately, I didn't see that. He can hardly set up a discussion like this and it will run through all the topics in the world. It must be focused on something to be result oriented. Now, in the course of this discussion, I also threw a question, if you look at the comment section, and I said, is it possible that the federal government intelligence has picked up the fact of what we think is new to us and is available to them? That IPOB is making mouth, but there are dangerous elements beneath it. But because I don't think we can exhaust everything tonight. So the little thing that I want to drop is, since there are names being dropped by the NGO, the next thing is to champion human rights from point of view of missing persons, and that might create a basis to plea for justice, because it has to be a talking issue in the public domain. When you are doing it and you are sure we're talking about a real person, you have family volunteering information for you to profile these people. And one other thing that I think that can go with it is this idea that somebody must tell Nnamdi Kanu, if it is not privately, publicly, to shut up. Shut up. So while that is being done, then you can create a new basis for to even win the sympathy of people from other zones. Otherwise, some of them, including those we pretend are current allies, will in their mind believe that we are committing atrocities that requires the action being taken. I think we should not focus so much on Buhari. The Southeast has interest in focusing on who will be the next president. That might be a better focus that will lead to solutions, because some of the things we are discussing may not be able to end in 2 years' time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With regards to that, let me now point out at this juncture that we have people collecting data for us. You know, the Nigerian government, or indeed African governments, think that they do not understand how international law and criminal justice works. And tonight, I will advise, like Kasmir said, if you are a military man, if you're a policeman, and the president tells you go and shoot at sight, please know that we are collecting data. Please know that we are collecting evidence. And if you are the IGP, in that video that he said, go to them, don't wait for them to attack, go and fight them and deal with them. The IGP should also know that we are collecting the data. But if you also know you are the president today, in 2 years' time, you no longer be the president, and you no longer have diplomatic immunity. And so if you make a statement that seems to suggest that statement, why Twitter deleted your comment, and you make that type of statement, it is on record. And if you're no longer the president, human rights international organizations may decide to call you to order. And you step to London for your medical treatment, they give you the Pinochet treatment. We also are aware that all the suggestions we're having today, yes, there are discussions going on about people who can speak to Nnamdi Kanu and they will listen. I'm sure those discussions are going on, how to reach across to him, to tell him to shut up, like people are suggesting. So that steps are also being contemplated. I don't know if you noticed that for the past few days now, you notice that Nnamdi Kanu is no longer sounding as belligerent as he used to, because even people who are supporting him are now seeing the consequences of some of the things he's doing. So thank you, Okelo. Your suggestions are very well taken. Omwasan FCC Jones, please. Your concluding thoughts. Can you unmute yourself?
I've done that now.
Go ahead.
I think so far the shift in our discussions, especially from among the Igbos, is encouraging, like I stated earlier. I think you are asking for what we think are the solutions. One, yes. I think one of the first things we have to do is to encourage politicians to stop hiding behind Nnamdi Kanu's activities and apparently terrorist utterances, hate speeches, to fight their personal political wars. A lot of them hate Buhari like I do. A lot of them want PDP to take over. A lot of them are doing all this because they do not want any situation that will make Buhari produce a successor, but that's not how to go about it. Some people are saying that Nnamdi Kanu should be called to the table for discussion. That would be wonderful. But I also know that before you are called to the table for a discussion, you must have inflicted a lot of injury on the system. When the the Niger Delta militants were fighting, they were called for a discussion because they burst a pipeline. The effect resonates across the world. When they kidnap expatriates, the other countries of the world called the Nigerian government. How can we help our citizens to come out? But then Nnamdi Kanu is killing Igbos. And the general belief is that Buhari hates Igbos. So why, on what basis will Buhari be inviting Nnamdi Kanu for a discussion? If Buhari truly hates Igbos like some of us believe, then he will allow Nnamdi Kanu to continue his activities. And by the time we are all dead, maybe the international community will start flying, we start sending us aids from the air. They will start dropping food for some people who are dying of hunger. The truth of the matter is that every Igbo intelligentsia, every Igbo who has some influence, every Igbo whose words can change things, should come out and denounce Nnamdi Kanu, ESN, and their activities. Nnamdi Kanu believes he's very popular. About 1 month ago, I was among the very few people who could muster what I call stupid courage, because it was stupid at the time.
I agree with you. The way you have come to this forum, I was now saying Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes,
not many people can do that publicly.
Yes. Today, I'm happy that there are people who are now becoming stupid like myself, who are beginning to talk, who are beginning to tell the young man to shut up if he can. But I know he won't shut up. Nnamdi Kanu is psychotic. He has a problem in his head. I actually admire the people who have the patience to listen to him. I don't listen to him. You cannot have a human being who stays in the United Kingdom or wherever he stays to command that people should be killed. And some people are making excuses for him, trying to say, exonerate him of being a terrorist. He's obviously a terrorist. We must call a spade a spade. If you must fight, you must be ready to fight. Now, on what basis would the federal government be inviting him for a discussion where he hasn't actually done anything to the federal government? He hasn't inflicted a single injury to the federal government, a single injury, a scar on the federal government. He hasn't done. Because they are making noise and our businesses are dying and collapsing in the Southeast economy is on the ground. People, our youths are dying every day. Our people are exposed to all kinds of dangers. So why would the federal government, whom we believe do not care about us, bother about him? It is our responsibility as Igbos. It is our responsibility as opinion molders. It is our responsibility as intellectuals to denounce Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is a monster that we created. As of 2015, 2016, I was raising this alarm. People around me, even the political leaders whom I have some relationship with, they are warning me to leave the young man alone. But today, some of them are beginning to see what I saw then. Some of them are beginning to even suffer from Nnamdi Kanu's activities. If we do not disown Nnamdi Kanu now, in the next 5 years, we may not have where to run to. Our relatives down here may not be alive to welcome us when we return from abroad. So the best thing for us as a people, that's what we can do. We cannot make suggestions to the federal government. They don't listen. We cannot make suggestions even though we may try. But what we can do as individuals is what I will want us to suggest. Individual Igbos who know that what Nnamdi Kanu is doing is wrong. We must come out and denounce him because he will not lead us to anywhere. Doing will not benefit us in any way, no matter what anybody tries to tell you.
All right, thank you very much. Kakasmia, please, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you very much. What I will suggest is people have talked about Nnamdi Kanu should shut up. I disagree with them.
Nnamdi Kanu should not shut up, but he should mind his language. There's a difference between somebody should stop speaking and then that person should mind how he speaks. Nnamdi Kanu did not start to speak like this before. Before they killed the Koso, I don't think Nnamdi Kanu was speaking like this. Before they started killing our people, invading the forest, Nnamdi Kanu was not speaking like this. So whoever, people talk from their political background, maybe one interest or the other, maybe you want APC to continue in government, and then maybe you feel the man is not giving, is creating problem for the party. So here with the parties in Nigeria, they're all useless. Both PDP and APC, they're all the same. If they come from here to here, they come from there to there, they're all useless elements, all the politicians. Now, people are saying that the governors have not been advised. How can you advise the governor who collects 1.5 billion every month for security votes? For first time, nothing on the ground in the villages to secure his people. No local government chairman, or even the ones you appoint, you don't give them directive. You should go and make sure you have securities in your domain. These people you are talking about, say you call the politicians, call the governors, they will sponsor you. Who will sponsor you? They are seeing you as threats. They don't want to sponsor, they know they don't want people with the ideas in government. I've seen these governors, most of them. They want riffraffs around them, people that they can give money and they continue to be there. Listen now, my brother Dan, we have a big problem in Igbo land. Somebody has mentioned about issue of restructuring. There are two things for this country. I don't believe in speaking too much English. It's either we restructure this country or we'll go for outright Biafra. Nobody should come and tell me, so come and start speaking English here. What we have here, we have a structural problem. We are going for 63 constitutional comeback, where you have regional autonomy. You have, just like my friend said about UK, where you have England, West. We must go back to that. That was what our founding fathers agreed upon. Southwest will be on their own. They have their premier. You have their premier. Gradually, we will build that independence. Who started it? The military started it. Now, we have to go back to that. If we don't go back to that, and we have a so whereby one region will be domineering to the other regions, then we are wasting our time. So instead of we structure, for those who are saying no, like the North, saying that the Biafra should go. Yes, let them give us the Biafra, let us go. Yes, we are a dot in a circle, no problem. Give us the dot, let us go. So the solutions must be Nigeria must restructure to regional federalism and national autonomy. I want to go to Southwest and see a premier or do the work president without a visa. You are the same country. You have your own country. You have your own nation. You have your own parliament. You have your own football club. You have Scotland. They're playing in the Euro now. Scotland is there. Ireland is there. West, England is there. You live in peace. But not where you come and tell me you want to rule a big country where your people are not protected and you're playing politics.
All right, thank you.
So let us have restructuring, and then let us have a whereby the regions can be autonomous. And then if they don't agree with that, my brother, Nnamdi Kanu may be a shy spirit to what to come after. Thank you.
Thank you very much, team. And then we take Mazi to round up. Our 2 hours is already up. We started by 9. So Tim, can you unmute yourself and quickly, 2 minutes, please.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. You remember a few days ago, last week, when we had a program on Zoom here, I cried that we who are living in the northern part of Nigeria, Abuja precisely, are becoming highly uncomfortable with recent developments, especially when we see Northerners agitating for Biafra on behalf of Biafran agitators. I felt very uncomfortable with it, and I don't know. When I see women carrying placards in the street of Abuja asking Buhari to announce a referendum towards ensuring a state of Biafra, and then I see youths writing to their leaders, telling them that they should make arrangements
for Biafra to emerge so that the Igbos will leave, I got very worried. And then I made it clear here on this Zoom, on our Zoom program here, that something is fishy that we're not comfortable with. And then just this week, President Muhammadu Buhari also went the extra mile to categorize every Igbo man as an IPOB. That was kind of the last straw that broke the camel's back. That is one area, one. Then, secondly, I agree with the person that says that Nnamdi Kanu should not shut up. Nnamdi Kanu should not shut up. Nnamdi Kanu should mind his language. Of recent, do we need to remind ourselves that many of his predictions eventually came to pass, even though we can say it is easy to predict those things? Well, it could be easy to predict, but many of us didn't bother to predict. One man predicted, and all those things came to pass. He warned us of how Igbos would be barricaded by Fulani herdsmen, killings. He said, don't think it will stop in the Middle Belt. It will come down to the east. I am not sorry, let me issue a quick disclaimer that I don't hold brief on Nnamdi Kanu. I don't even listen to his radio Biafra. Only on one occasion, I sat down and listened to Biafra and said, hey, I'm not going to listen to this any longer, never again in my life. And I never did again. However, I still read his utterances on print, on the internet. Having said that, Nnamdi Kanu has exposed a lot of things that either we are privy and we don't want to talk about it, or we're not even privy to it at all. He exposed these things, and let us accept that he did. And then those things haven't come into pass should put me on my toes. Like I said, I don't hold brief for him. I don't like him. I don't trust him. But I take his words and I take the message and leave the messenger. Igbos, stop beating the drum of war. I agree with Adibo, who said we should stop beating the drums of war, but we must be very careful. We must be very circumspect of our immediate environment. A lot of things are happening too fast, and we are docile. Let me quickly read what somebody says. Sorry, I won't take much time. Somebody sent me this, and he said, I don't want to hear this nonsense. The Igbos have become a bunch of cowards standing by and being scared of death, while the weak Hausa Fulani men are giving them bullcrap in their own faces. The Igbo of this present generation are good in talking and yapping in social media, but in the real world, they clothe themselves with nonsensical religious beliefs that they should sit aside and allow the enemies to defeat them. What a shame. The Igbos should by now feel threatened, but unfortunately we are not. We are docile, and we are waiting for one Messiah, apart from Nnamdi Kanu, who will come and rescue the Igbo nation. Well, I'm not advocating for war. I'm advocate for peace rather, but I wish that we should be more alert to our environment and be more proactive and not waiting for Buhari to make some funny dot in a circle statements and we start flagging it around on the internet. Buhari has finally said it. Yes, he said it. But what are we doing about it? Nothing. People should leave Nnamdi Kanu alone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Mazi Okoye, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I think you call this program in order for us to find solution.
Yes.
To a pressing issue, a pressing problem, whereby we have our young men dying in numbers and disappearing and being maimed, some of them unaccounted for. Now, we're looking for solution to this problem. Now, in mathematics, sometimes you have too many complex issues which you have to solve at once. How do you go about solving it? You try to isolate them in order to be able to solve it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to solve them. Now, while we are talking about Nnamdi Kanu, it's not because we hate him, because whenever we criticize Nnamdi Kanu or any Igbo man criticize him, other people will think that, okay, because of hate or something. No, it's not because of that. It's part of the solution. It's not because of envy. We are looking for a solution. And people that criticize him see a problem with his utterances, not because of anything else. Perhaps, I'm not advocating for him to, become silent, because I know some of the things that he says is true with regards to where Nigeria is concerned, because the system doesn't work. The system is not working. So some of his utterances is pardonable, so long as it's aiming at the point, which it should be aiming at. However, when he steps out of that and start mongering for war, unprepared, and sending people to die, then that is where problems start to emerge. And this is what leads us to this discussion tonight, where we have our young men disappearing and being killed for no apparent reason. So my solution is partly for him to just chill out, be quiet for some time, let people come in that can reason, because it's not everything that we can shout about. You hardly solve any problem by shouting. You can only solve problem by discussing things and thinking deep, finding, you try things out. The Germans call it thought experiment, Gedankenexperiment experiment. You do some thought experiment and see how things is going to pan out. You don't just do things like that. Reasonable people don't do things like that. You can hammer Nigerian government, hammer them, hammer the governors because they're not doing well. Hammer the other person that is bringing hardship to our people. But just don't advocate violence. Just don't talk nonsense like that, because it actually defeats your own object of what you're looking for.
Right.
The next solution, the other solution, is already been mentioned by a couple of people. Our eldest has to come in to speak out, but this guy has to give them some leeway to talk, because he cannot solve Nigeria and our problem alone. He got to give people, recommend people that can talk. He hardly recommends anybody. This is the problem people are having with him. He has to find it himself to recommend people to speak.
Thank you very much. All right, we thank you all. Let's take it so far. Tomorrow is another day. So thank you all for coming to this discussion. A lot of these points are well taken. Nobody knows it all. So it gives us perspective first in our reports. And two, there are also some people, even on the other side, you may not believe it. On the other side, federal government, who will call you and say, hey, what do you think we should do? So sometimes we give them our own suggestion on what we think will work. So it's only from listening to all these points that we'll be able to say, okay, we think if you do this, it will work. So thank you all for your brilliant suggestions. And let me stop recording now.